potentially some players undermining Xavi. If you're Xavi and you know you're gone in June 30th, and obviously you've made that decision, well, at this point then, you don't rely on those players. You're still in a decision-making position. You're still the manager of this club. So guess what? Lean on the young guys.
Yeah.
Lean on the young guys, on the guys that you know that they're at least are going to work for you, that they're going to run for you, that they're going to put everything on the line for you. If that's a young guys, then ride the young guys. If there are guys in that locker room that, quite frankly, you cannot trust, or quite frankly, haven't asked what you've asked them to do, they're not giving you consistent performances, or simply seem to be disengaged or disinterested, then come and sit down. It doesn't matter to me what happens to you here in the future because I'm not going to be around. But I care about the young guys because those are the guys that I brought through. Lean on those guys and see if they answer the call.
So, what next? That's the big question. Sid, what's on the table for someone coming in at Barcelona? What will they be given?
That's a very good question. And it's a very good question because on the face of it, of course, you look at Barcelona's squad and you think, actually, that's not that bad. There's a couple of holes in it, but it's fundamentally not that bad a squad. But of course, we all know about the financial constraints that Barcelona have got. We know that some of those players, particularly the big-name players, haven't performed very well this year. Robert Lewandowski is probably the clearest example of that. Jules Koundé as well. Although you will, I suppose, as an incoming manager, if you back yourself, believe that you can get performances out of some of those players. Maybe with Lewandowski, you look at the age and think otherwise. But so you come in theory, with a strong squad, but knowing the financial difficulties that Barcelona have got, you also know that something will have to change in that squad, that the chances are there will have to be sales made. Why? Because they cannot register players at the moment. I'll give you an example. The arrival of Vitor Roque has happened because Barcelona took advantage of a clause in the La Liga rules that enabled them to use essentially the money that they would have been paying for Xavi for Vitor Roque for the rest of the season. Why? Because Xavi has got long-term injury. That clause only sees them through to the summer. So then you've got another problem. You've had players like Íñigo Martínez having to have their salaries dropped to get them under the bar to be able to fulfill that financial fair play criteria. So you've got those problems. You've also got, and I think it's really worth pointing this out, and this is one of the things that Xavi has faced now. Xavi has actually watched Barcelona spend a lot of money on players. It's over 250 million euros in the time that he's been there, and that is more than any of the other Spanish clubs have spent. He's seen a huge overhaul of players as well. Of the 17 players he used in the Super Cup last year, 11 of them had gone by the time he got to the Super Cup this year. So there's a huge amount of change within the squad. So you don't know how that will play out next season and what kind of squad the new manager is going to get. And you also know, because of that turnover, there's been a turnover, for example, in the sporting directors have changed. The Director General has changed. The CEO has changed. So you know that there's an institutional instability that you have to deal with as well. And I don't think we should overlook that in terms of being one of the ingredients that has led to this decision from Xavi. And so if you're coming in, you've got all of these doubts, but there is still that fundamental thing. And Luis mentioned this earlier. It's still Barcelona. It's still a huge club. There's still that excitement about it. There's still that attraction. I remember speaking to Jordi Cruyff about this in that first winter window when he was bringing players in at a time when it felt like Barcelona had no money at all. And he said, look, this is nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me doing a great job. It is still true that if I phone someone up, a footballer, and say, hello, I'm phoning from Barcelona, would you like to play for us? Most of those players still say yes.
And do you believe that still stands, Luis, with managers out there?
Yes, I totally believe it. And again, we haven't finished the season, and there has been rumors about Arteta maybe talking. They could be fake news or rumors or whatever. But this is going to happen in the next coming months. Any single one manager that is free, I'm talking about, and they receive the call of Barcelona because Barcelona thinks that he could be a good fit for Barcelona, he's not even going to talk about money. And I can assure you that because just managing Barcelona, what they can do with this team, and again, I think that is a fantastic squad. Of course, you need to get something here, to get something there. It's a good bunch of youngsters that they can come and do a great job for the future. But if you can address, you can change the direction, if you can change a little bit the mentality of this group, it's a very, very good group. So I'm sure that there is going to be a line of managers waiting for the chance.